Good morning, grade threes. I hope you had a great spring break. I'll see you at 12:15 for a live lesson on Teams, and we can talk about your break then. For now, I'm away this morning. Mrs. Smith is available on Teams, but I wanted you to watch this video to do a little lesson with me on perimeter. So we have been measuring linear measurements in class, so the length of objects. Okay, we've used centimeters and meters, and we've talked about kilometers. We've also used non-standard units. Non-standard units is when we've used the cubes to measure different lengths. Okay, we're going to do both today, but we're going to talk about perimeter instead of length. Perimeter is just the outside of objects, around the outside of an object. Okay, so we're going to measure the perimeter of objects using both standard and non-standard units, centimeters, and an object like a cube. We're going to learn about the difference between area and perimeter. We'll talk about area later on next week. And we're going to use both standard and non-standard units, and we're going to follow the measurement rules. We just talked about measurement rules a couple of weeks ago in class, so hopefully you remember them. Things like no gaps or overlaps, making sure your unit is together without any gaps. Measure end to end, so make sure it goes all the way to the end. And using the same size of unit, so making sure we're always using centimeters or always using the same non-standard unit. Here's examples of how it's the right way to measure. Same size unit, no gaps or overlaps, and it goes end to end. There might be a time when it goes over the end a little bit. I'll talk to you about that in 1 second when I show an example. So your job is to find 8 objects to measure around your house. My example is a painting that I measured. You can measure whatever you want that's around your house. It could be something as simple as a juice box or a book. Okay, so you're going to measure with 2 things. Your standard unit, which is your centimeters, and your non-standard unit. Now, you don't have blocks at home like cubes like we do at school. So some things that you could use instead, it has to be the same size of unit, remember? So Q-tips, they're all the same size. If you find noodles, if you have noodles at home that are the same size, like spiral noodles or something like that. Pieces of Lego, as long as they're the same size of Lego. Things like that around your house, as long as it's the same size. And you're going to estimate first and tell you what your tool is, what your unit is, and then you're going to actually measure it. And then you're going to use centimeters. I sent you home with a ruler, so you should have one available. Or if not, you have a measuring tape at home or something that you can use to measure centimeters. Estimate first and then actually measure. So here's an example I did of a painting. So my object I'm measuring is a painting. I estimated that it would be 14 Q-tips all the way around the object. And then I added them up. So I have my 5 represents my length on this side. 5 plus 3.5. Here's where I was talking over here about how it might go over a little bit and you might have to change your estimate a bit. So again, my Q-tip didn't quite fit in, so it was about 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5, I decided. So 5 plus 3.5 plus 5 plus 3.5 totaled 17 Q-tips. Then I took my ruler and I did it by centimeters. I estimated first 130 centimeters is what I thought it would be. I estimated the width was 31 centimeters, the length was 41 centimeters, the width again 31 centimeters, and the length 41 centimeters when I actually measured. And that I added up to make 144 centimeters. So your job is to find 8 objects around your house, find a non-standard unit you can use, and get your ruler for your standard units, and measure some perimeter around the outside of objects. You can copy this chart into your notebook, or I've put a sheet up that you can print if you want on our Brightspace. Okay, good luck with it. Miss Smith is available on Teams if you need any help, and you can also talk to me after our language lesson if you have any questions. See you later today.